Hi everyone and welcome to another Korean lesson from Korean Studio. My name is Kim Gi-hwan. Now in this lesson we're going to learn 3 different ways of describing size of things in Korean, which is different from how they are described in English. So let's begin. Okay, so the first expression we're going to learn is a pretty basic expression and it's to describe someone's height. So in English, when we want to say that someone is tall, we just say someone is tall, or if we want to say the opposite, we say someone is short. So these adjectives that we use are tall and short. But to say that someone is tall in Korean, we say 키가 크다. 키가 크다. Now the noun 키 means height and the descriptive verb 크다 means to be big. So when we describe someone as being tall, we're basically saying that someone's height is big. So to say that that person is tall, we can say 저 사람 키가 크다. 저 사람 키가 크다. Now, the opposite of someone being tall in English is someone is short. But to say that in Korean, we say 키가 작다. 키가 작다. So we still use this noun 키, which means height. And then we use the descriptive verb 작다, which means to be small. So we're effectively saying that person or height is very small. Height is very small. So to say that person is short, then we can say 저 사람 키가 작다. 저 사람 키가 작다. Now, the second different way of describing size of things in Korean is when we say a phrase like this room is big. Now, in Korean, we can say 이 방 크다. 이 방 크다. And this literally means this room is big. 이 방 means this room and 크다 is a descriptive verb that means to be big. So 이 방 크다 means this room is big. But in Korean, when we talk about like certain room or to describe the size of the floor space being large, big, we use the descriptive verb 넓다. 넓다. And 넓다 is commonly used to describe something being wide. So for example, if you wanted to say that this street is wide, then you can say 이 길 넓다. 이 길 넓다. And it means this street is wide. However, as I mentioned already, we use 넓다 to describe the floor space, the size of the floor space within the area being large. So as well as saying 이 방 크다 to say this room is big, we can also say 이 방 넓다. 이 방 넓다. And this descriptive verb 넓다 uses the 겹받침 리을 비읍, but the second 겹받침 비읍 is silent and we read the first 겹받침 리을. So this is 넓다. 넓다. So again, just to reiterate, we use 넓다 to refer to describe the size of the floor space of an area being large. So to say this room is big, we can say 이 방 넓다. 이 방 넓다. And to give another example of how we use 넓다, if you wanted to describe a certain square as being big, and when I say square, I'm referring to those kind of like big open space in cities where people kind of meet together. So for example, in Seoul, there is a 광화문 Square, and square in Korean is 광장, 광장. So to say that 광화문 Square, 광장 is big, you can say 광장이 넓다. 광장이 넓다. And we're referring to the size of the floor space of that square being big. 광장이 넓다. Okay, so the third different way of describing size of things is when we talk about tall buildings. So in Korean, to say that this building is tall, earlier we learned that when we talk about someone being tall, like a human person being tall, we said that we use the expression 키가 크다, 키가 크다. But we don't use that expression to talk about a building being tall. In Korean, to say that this building is tall, we use the descriptive verb 높다, 높다. And 높다 means high, something is high, and it can be used in many other different contexts and situations to describe something being high. So if you are in a very high place, you can say like, oh, this is really high. And then you would use 높다. But also we can use 높다 to describe buildings being tall. So to say this building is tall, you can say 이 건물 높다. 이 건물 높다. And that means this building is tall. On the other hand, if you wanted to say that this building is small, then you would use the descriptive verb that is the opposite of 높다, which means high. And the opposite of high is low, and that descriptive verb is 낮다, 낮다. So to say that this building is small in Korean, we say 이 건물 낮다, 이 건물 낮다. So again, this building is tall is 이 건물 높다, and this building is small is 이 건물 낮다. Okay, so today we learned 3 different ways of describing size of things. We first learned how to describe someone being tall and short. We learned how to describe the floor space of an area being big. And we also learned how to describe buildings being tall and small. That's it for today, and I look forward to seeing you soon again. Bye-bye.